Hey, good morning. Welcome to Win the Day podcast, Thursday morning. Love me some Thursday morning, especially on days like this. Julie said it's nice out in the desert. I can tell you it's nice at the beach too, which is nice. All right, so let's get into it. I had a good day yesterday, and we're going to talk about it because I like talking about me. So here's what happens. I've been struggling a little bit, right? The business is soft. There's a million reasons why you're not doing business, and we like to talk about how to get in there. But one of the things I do is I write these posts every day, and we come on here and we talk every day as we talk. And sometimes I lament and I question why, what's it all for? Because nobody's reading it, nobody's watching it, nobody's done anything. Where is everybody? Right? Yeah, one of my favorite songs back in the day was the Police Sting, right? Message in a Bottle, where he's sending out this message in a bottle and SOS to the world, right? And he gets 100 million bottles back at him. There are people out there. And so yesterday I got a message from an agent. Okay, so here's the story. I'm in this group, Gary's Top Agents group, right, on Facebook. Somebody posted, I need an agent in Foley, Alabama. So I happen to know an agent in Foley, Alabama, a really good one. And so I reached out to her, hey, what's your contact? And I posted it on that Facebook post. And then she called me and I said, what? Or I don't know what happened. So, somehow we corresponded. I said, you know what? You might want to call her. Call the person looking for it. Just don't post it on Facebook. That's a start, right? Call, right? This is lead gen. Hey, I heard you need somebody, right? So she did. Turns out they knew somebody and now they're besties and all's good with the world, right? And she wrote a nice little notice saying, hey, thank you. I appreciate everything you do. I was like, what? And it was so good, right? And two things about that story hit me. The what is we come on here, we talk, we learn, we crowdsource all kinds of stuff. That's so we can get referrals and do more business. That's the what behind what we're doing, right? Mm-hmm. The why behind it is that puff up you get when somebody says, thanks, it worked. That's why we do it, because it feels good for them, for us, for everybody. So it's two sides of the same coin, which is very cool. So that was nice. And another thing happened. I'm always trying to hire agents. Very hard. But we're trying to hire agents a lot. And I had another realtor in our market call up and said, hey, if you guys are hiring, I got a good guy that would be good for you. Oh, look at me. Look at you. Thank you. So we're talking to that guy. Whether it works or not, we'll see. So that was cool. Then somebody else reached out to me and said, hey, you seem to be doing a lot of business, know what you're doing. Do you want to be on a panel to talk? It's like, oh, who are me? Look at me, right? So that was kind of cool. All my lamenting and everything went away. But it also got me thinking about a couple other things. Because when you put stuff out here and you hope somebody responds or likes, or that's the outward manifestation, is a like or a comment. Oh man, you're great, right? The real thing is, though, that the information's getting to somebody, they're receiving it, taking it, leveraging it to do something cool. That's the true win of it all. And it's nice to hear back, hey, I did what you said, and it's working. That's good. It's not why we do it, though. Even though I just said that's what it is, it's not. But here, I'm going to take you through a couple other things as I ramble here a little bit this morning. I'm also struggling. It's just like, oh, my whole being is just struggling right now because I'm going through a learning process. Okay. And here's what I figured out. It took me 58 years. Am I 59? 58. I don't know. I'm in my upper 50s. Here's what I figured out. New and exciting when you have a little bit of mastery, but you're still learning, is the sweet spot. When it's still exciting and fun, but you got a pretty good grip and you're growing and you're making big leaps and bounds. Dang it, that's fun. New, learning intensive, where it's hard, one step forward, 10 backwards, sucks. The other end of the spectrum, when you're older, in decline, and things are changing and you got to keep up with it, and I just like it the way I like it. But it changes anyway because everything changes. That's hard. Okay. And right now, I get the new coffee thing. I don't hit the button on the Keurig anymore, which was easy and I was comfortable. Now I got to do the drip thing. And I mean, it's easy. I mean, come on, how hard is it to make Mr. Coffee drip coffee? But still, it's different. And I'm going through, I spilled. Oh my God, the world's ending, right? But now I'm a week into it, and Gil says, "Yeah, so you're still liking the coffee thing?" And I say, "You know what? More than ever, because it's a process." When I first started that process, it was clunky and it was weird. But now I got the process down. So now I got this new coffee. I'm making it and I'm feeling confident that I can do this thing with my eyes closed. It's cool. I'm starting to reach mastery. That's Mr. Coffee can do it in like an hour, right? I'm also trying to do the social media thing. Oh my word. Freaking hard, right? But my daughter's got 1 million+ followers. She, says something silly and gets 200,000 likes. I go profound, deep, layers of just massive content. My mom won't even freaking like it. And I'm like, what? But now I got this whole thing set up. I got helpers helping, but it's a factory. And nobody knows where to go, and we're trying to get, and they're bumping into each other. And oh my God, I've invented new swear words. It's so hard right now because we're in that learning. So let's talk about that. I want to talk about that real quick. New, exciting, mastery, cool. New, learning intensive sucks. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? Here's what you're going to do. Just decide to battle. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. It's going to suck for a minute. Embrace the suck, right? This is like learning a script or something when you're lead gen, or a new neighborhood where you're just starting to understand the neighborhood. Julie said she doesn't like to use GPS because she's driving. Well, if you previewed, you might not need a GPS. Anyway, battle. Number 1 is the battle. 2, recognize the discomfort. It's cool. It's all right. You don't need to be perfect. Matter of fact, you need to be uncomfortable such that you can grow. 3, be a visionary. You got to see the end of this thing or else you'll drop. You got to see the greatness that comes at the end. The thank you for putting all that content out there. It worked for me. You got to be able to see it. 4, you got to believe it too. It's one thing to see it. It's another to believe it. Because when it's hard and it takes work and you're frustrated and you're cleaning up the mess because the glass you threw at the wall broke, you just got to believe in yourself, in your process, and your thing. And number 5, that's probably the most important, you got to show up. You got to show up. You can get frustrated because it's frustrating, but you can't stop, right? There you go. Mark, you got anything on that? There's a lot of stuff today.
There's a lot, but the part of maturity is accepting the rhythm and the ways of how life works. We are designed beautifully to be efficient, which means we find our ruts in our routines, and it makes us super effective in creation. And that means when we go down a new path, we've got to pull out the machete and start working at clearing that path. And it's extra work. And I think it was Brian Tracy said that the happiest people in life are those who have learned to accept disappointment. And so the happiest people in life are those that don't kick against reality of this is just the way it is. And so embrace the suck, embrace the challenge, embrace that whole different thing. And it opens up opportunities. It's funny. My grandmother lived to 102 years old. And my grandfather, 102.
Couldn't get 103?
Yeah, couldn't get 103. My grandfather was 96, I believe it was. And,
he went early.
But what was interesting is right at about 95 years old, my sister had gone to visit them. And late at night, they'd stayed up late. She heard my grandmother reading, and she was reading the scripture to him, but she was reading the scripture out loud to my grandfather. And the next morning she said, "Hey, Grandma, question. Are are grandpa's eyes bothering him where he can't read anymore? She goes, oh, no. We just realized in all these years, we'd never read the Bible out loud to each other. So this year we're doing that. And I think what kept them alive and young is they were always looking to learn something new. And they lived right up to the last day.
Love it. And they lived. They weren't alive. They were living.
They were living.
Love it. Love it. Destiny, what's your take on this?
I think my take on it is realize that everybody's watching, even when they don't validate you with a like or a comment or a share or a phone call or a text. They're watching. You know, I got a call yesterday from another broker saying they liked my social media content. And I'm like, you know, what? But it's just
Say
people
thanks, Mom.
watching. And so, you know, keep doing what you're doing and keep pushing through because other people are watching and it gives you a story to tell. Like, you know, Mark was saying, being okay with the yuck. I'm learning how to manage a schedule and I'm learning how beneficial it is. And I'm only in day 3, but it's being okay with being uncomfortable because it builds up your story.
So good. Julie, tell us some wisdom.
So I'm to kind of leverage off of what Destiny is saying is adventure helps you grow. And going outside of what you're comfortable with, going outside of your own boundaries expands your own mindset. So it could be something physical. It could be reading.
But what if you're scared?
Embrace it. I'll give you a perfect example. I was doing a hike with my husband. It was in Idaho. And there was this was a hike.
You were at the spa on the treadmill?
There was this section called Chicken Out Ridge. And
Chicken Out Ridge?
Chicken Out Ridge is where most people would turn back. And I was with 4 other guys. They're about your size, John. And for everybody's benefit, they were 6 feet tall or higher. So they have a wide wingspan, right? And we had this section where we had to climb across rocks. And at one point, all of a sudden, I'm trying to grab with my fingers, and I have 2 inches of ledge. And swing to the next part. And I swing real hard and slam my body up against the rock. And I look down and there's like a 2-foot ledge, maybe 15 feet below me, and then rock face of like 1,000 feet. And I'm like, what am I doing? And I just start to freeze and be paralyzed and terrified. And I can barely reach because I don't have the wingspan where the other guys had already gone past this spot. And I'm like, I can't do it. And I thought, well, I can fall to my death today, right now, or I can move. And so I went past and I got over it. And I mean, I was physically shaking. I was terrified. We go to the top of Bora Peak, it's called. And then we come back down and we have to go past Chicken Out Ridge again. And as I was coming down, I'm like, wow, I have to do this again. Oh, the second time I went past it, I was like, wow, that was not so bad. And that was like one of the few times in my life I can point to and go, when you do things that scare you, you grow. Your circle of what I can do. And you don't just grow in, oh, I can cross this section. You grow mentally in just about everything you can do. Mm-hmm. So that's where you continue to learn your whole life and embrace the suck and grow because you're growing in all these other areas of I can do more. Mm-hmm. And that's embracing something that's scary.
So good. So the difference between Julie and myself, she did that story. I'll tell you a story about the time I dropped an M&M and I looked at it on the ground for a minute and I picked it up and I thought, what am I doing? And I ate it anyway.
You know,
I was not hanging from a ledge. I was not anything.
I heard it said that people are like rubber bands. We're only effective if we're stretched.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You have to stretch your circle of comfort and grow.
Yeah. So true. So I think a lot of people have that same anxiety about talking to people they don't know about their real estate goals for the next 12 months. I'm bothering them. They don't want to hear from me. Oh my God. Right. I think you need to change that mindset and, get a different vision or whatever. If I do talk to these people, I'll learn what they're doing. I'll understand what they're trying to do. You don't even have to have a mindset that I'm going to try to sell them anything. Really, all you're trying to do, at least what I teach my people, is you're just trying to figure out where people are in the ownership cycle, buying, selling, or owning, and then match up your skill sets with whatever it is they need per their time in this particular moment in time. Some are going to need to sell. They're going to need your expertise in listing and selling. Some are going to buy, and they're going to need your expertise in buying. And some are going to just want to own. They're going to need your expertise in how to own better, right?
It's overcoming the fear of the call. People are afraid of rejection, so they don't want to make the call. When you make the call, you're expanding your circle. You're expanding your level of discomfort, and then you get through it and go, oh, my arms and legs didn't fall off. I'm going to make another call. It's not that bad. And then sometimes you experience some success, and you go, oh, this is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love it. Hey, I'm going to read you guys another one. Somebody posted here this morning. Elizabeth Schreiber, I think is her name. I received a call yesterday. It said, hi, I'm in your neighborhood and I need to sell my house. I always see your cute posts and you helped me find an electrician once. Then you come to my door. I want someone like you. Can you come over today? Right? You show up anyway, people.
Mm-hmm.
Do the work. All right. Are you always going to get the reward? If somebody say, oh my God, what a great post that was today. Oh my word. Changed my life. No.
Nope.
No. You're not always going to get.
That wasn't her first post either, I would say. She didn't get.
No, I bet she wrote more than one. I think
probably 1,001 by the time she got that. Yeah. So it's, you just keep doing it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Growing's hard, right? Some things are easy. Seeing a neon sign against a dark sky is easy, but you don't always get that. You got to keep going anyway. All right. Battle through, battle yourself, battle the mob, battle whoever you're going to battle. Right. You'll get through. You got to recognize that, holy cow, this isn't real comfortable for me. Because it's never comfortable when you grow. Growing sucks. I mean, it's really cool when you're done, but it sucks when you're in it. But you got to be a visionary because you got to see the end. If you cannot see the end, you're going to have a very hard time believing. So you got to believe, because those two, vision and belief, get a little blurry, or maybe even a lot blurry. Yeah. Okay. And then show up anyway. Guys, if you operate under those 5 principles, you win. You win, no matter what's going on. Mark, you have anything to add on that?
What are your principles again, John? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, 1 is to battle. All right, get in there and fight. Fight for what you want. Right? Trump got up there, fight. Shoot me. I'm like, holy shit. Right? I'm not fighting anybody. I'm running. So battle. Get in there. 2, recognize that it's going to be a little uncomfortable for you. Right? Maybe your drip coffee is going to be a mess all over the floor. Works that way. Maybe your Mac doesn't work the same way as your IBM product or your laptop or whatever I'm trying to say, or your PC. God, what a drag that is. All right, 3, be a visionary. You got to see the end. You got to see where you're going. People ask me for advice all the time when they're first starting, and I go, right, well, where are you ending? Where's this thing end? Right? Where are you at in some period of time? I'm rich. I got 1 million properties. I'm going on vacation. I'm helping other people. Great. Now let's work to get that. Right? You got to believe in that. You got to believe you can be rich, have 1 million properties, travel, and help people do whatever. Then you got to show up when the sign ain't blinking. Mm-hmm. You just got to know the sign's out there. Okay. Mark, you got anything to add on it?
Yeah, you've heard it said that seeing is believing. I think it's believing is seeing, and then being willing to put in the work to get there and close the gap.
Love it. Love it. Destiny?
I'd say just keep going at it. We talk about consistency all the time. Even if you're on the phone, call those neighborhoods a couple times a year. Put your signs out with your pictures on them every time you do your open house. Posting consistently. Stay consistent. People will begin to recognize you.
Love it. Here, let me give some context here. Mark, how long have you been doing this?
Oh, gosh. I'm in my 9th year.
So you've been doing real estate for 9 years.
Yeah.
You're a young man still, but you had some experience under your belt and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you're a coach.
Mm-hmm.
You help people like Destiny. I think you coach Destiny.
Yeah.
Destiny, how long have you been doing this?
A little over 1.5 years, almost 2 years.
So you're fairly new.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're a wonderful person. I love you, all that stuff. The reason why you're here is you're fairly new. And I think a lot of people we talk to are fairly new. And, yeah, that guy, he's reached some level of success. What the hell does he know about anything? True. right? That's true. So we need all that perspective. Julie, how about you? You're on the desert of Scottsdale, Arizona. First of all, if you guys have any business you want to send our way to Mark, Destiny, or Julie, but she's in Scottsdale. How long you been doing real estate?
End of December, it'll be 29 years.
Wow.
Okay, that's longer than most of us, right?
I know. I started.
You've probably forgotten more about this business than a lot of us will ever learn.
It's a fun business that's constantly changing. It's hard to keep up, like you said. The older we get comfortable. We can get lazy. We fall back, and all of a sudden, everyone's racing past us because we're too lazy to do whatever because we get comfort.
Yeah. So what I want to do is point out everybody's got a story. We're all at some point in our journeys, whether it's the new learning aspect, the learning and mastery area, or the back end. 29 years. You got to relearn a few things. Is that fair to say, Julie?
Yes. It's easier to act your way into a new way of thinking than to think your way into a new way of acting. So the whole point of that is act, take action, do it, and your thinking will follow.
See. All right, there you go. There's a lot of stuff in there you can take to win the day. My last piece of advice on that is it's really cool to hear advice. It's really special to act on what you're learning.
Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just slogan it, live it. All right.
Do it.
That's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna go to work. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.